Have you ever simply been too far ahead? Have you ever hated a subject not because you were bad at it, or it was boring because you didn't understand, but because you've practically covered the entire subject a few years ago? Throughout the first few months of school, I struggled a tiny bit. Just a little. But soon enough, I began pulling ahead. Not only was I consistently meeting the expectations of the teacher, I would shatter it and easily. School got easier and easier to the point where I'd have nothing to do. But one day, I found a place where I didn't have to slow down and wait for my classmates. A place where I had to work to catch up. Welcome to the best 2 years of my life. Welcome to MACC. MACC stands for Multi-Aged Cluster Class, which meant that there were grades 5, 6, and 7 in one class. For the most part, everyone did the same thing, although the expectations were obviously lower for the 5th graders. You needed to take a COGAT test, and whether you got in or not depended on where you stood among other students. Since MACC was a class with 20 students ranging from grades 5 to 7, the number of people that can join depends on who graduated last year, which is usually around 7, meanwhile hundreds apply each year. Most people commonly join as a grade 5 or 6, but there are people that join in grade 7. I took the test when I was a 5th grader and joined in grade 6. Anyways, fast forward to when I was taking the test. For the most part, I thought I did pretty well, but the last part, the part I was most confident in, threw me completely off. The test was a cognitive test, so it tested all areas including writing, logical thinking, sequencing, math, etc. I did everything relatively well, but when it got to the math part, my confidence completely shattered. Before I say what happened, I need to explain something first. The test was a book that had all the questions, and then you would put your answers on a separate sheet which had the question number and then a space to put your answer. I started off doing really well, and I wasn't having too much trouble. That was when I decided to double check my questions and everything started falling apart. First I checked one near the end to see if I was right. I was wrong. Then I fixed it, glad I checked. Then I checked the one before it. It was also wrong. I proceeded to check nearly every single one that I had done until I realized what had happened with around 5 to 10 minutes to go. I had forgotten to put the answers to one question and shifted everything upwards. I forgot to fill in question 4. So then, I put the 5th question's answer inside the box for the 4th answer, and so on. So as I had around 5 minutes to go, I profusely erased everything and tried to shift everything down. I'm not sure what I did, but somehow I shifted it the wrong way. I cried for a good 15 minutes after the test because it looked like I had screwed up my chances of getting in because of a tiny little slip-up. My parents emailed the teacher and we managed to clear up the misunderstanding. And in the end, I got a 97 in the math section. Going into MACC, I actually had a really close friend named Kai who also tested but wasn't accepted and was put on the waiting list. It was sad, of course. We were in the same school, so during recess and lunch we could easily see each other. But what happened was something I had only imagined. Somehow, a special education kid had gotten into MACC and he would disrupt the class. While he was above average, his maturity level wasn't enough. So after a couple of weeks, he left the MACC class, leaving an empty spot in what should have been 20 people. And crazily enough, Kai was the one who joined to replace him. My teacher's name was Mr. Allinger, and aside from teaching us most of the academics, he would also show us guitar. Most of the subjects were taught by the teacher in lessons, but math was self-paced. There was this one student who speed ran grade 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 in his grade 5 year. We also had math units taught to everyone, like cryptography, trigonometry, and even Connect 4. We did PE almost every day and had field trips for it, like to golf courses. We even had a tennis unit. 2 years of my life went by like this. All in all, MACC was an absolutely amazing experience. If I had a choice, I would go back and do it again. A place where there would be people like me who were much more advanced, and a place where I was understood. A place that matched my needs as a student. MACC has shaped who I am today, and it's the reason I'm here. And it'll probably be the reason I'll be able to go anywhere. That's it for MACC, but now it's time for me to continue into the next chapter of my life.